Today I'm going to show you how you can turn your ActivPanel into a mini studio for producing songs and sounds. So I'm going to use an app that's free on the Play Store. It's called Caustic. Now I am running the free version at the minute. There is a paid version which allows you to save things and to export your songs. I'm just going to continue with the demo mode. So I'm going to start by creating a new song. Now the layout is fairly simple. I've got access to the various machines which create the sounds on the program, and I've got my menu button here. On the menu I can control things like the tempo. I can make it go faster or I can make it go slower depending on what I want to do. I can set the time signature for it, and I can also give it a shuffle feel and set the type of scale that I want as well. To actually start getting sounds and building a song though, we need to go to the machines. And here we get a range of machines that we can add on. So when I click on one, I can add these machines here which will give me different sounds. Now a good starting point is some sort of drum. So I'm going to go to the beatbox, click on the beatbox, and then it gives me all of these kind of volume knobs and different dials that I can play about with if I want to. But the main function is swiping up here, and then you end up with your grid, which is where you start creating your sounds. Okay. What I'm going to do before that though is select the type of kit that I actually want. So I'm going to go for a rock kind of kit. I'm going to load that up, and then when I go here I can say I've got my bass drum, I've got my snare, a closed hi-hat, an open hi-hat, I've got my high toms, mid toms, rides and crashes. Okay, and it's really simple to start creating music, and it's really great for the children because they can come up and they can actually start creating their own songs as well. It's just a case of tapping where you actually want those various instruments to start playing. If you put something in by mistake, just double tap it and it will go. So we're just going to create a really simple drum beat here. I'm going to have all of my bass drum in there. I'm going to have a closed hi-hat following onto that. I'm going to have the snare drum there. Once I've created my really simple pattern, I'll just press play, and what it'll start to do is play that pattern. And it'll just keep looping and looping and looping until I tell it to stop. Now, what we've got here is different kind of patches, and we've got the different sequences here. So at the minute I'm on A1, and you'll see what happens to that later on, but that is a sequence that I can keep calling up later on. So when I'm happy with that, I might want to move on to A2, which is a different kind of pattern. So I might want it to be slightly different, in that I might want a hi-hat there, and then I might want an open one there just to change the sound, and then I might want to increase the snare. So it'll be slightly different. Now to put this into an actual song, I need to go back to my machines, and I need to go onto sequencer down here. And this is where I can start putting everything into a song. So you can see here I've loaded up my beatbox machine, and what I can do here is start selecting the different patterns that I've got. So I've got my different patches and banks, and then I've got the different sequences. So you can see numbers 1 and 2 are highlighted because I've created those. So if I want number 1 in there, I put that in there and it loads up A1. I can put that in as many times as I want, or if I want this part to be different, I'm going to go to A2, and then I switch this from pattern to song, so it will play the whole thing, and I press play. Now I've just got a simple drum beat at the minute, so I'm going to add a couple more sounds to it. So I'll go back to my machines. I'm going to put a new machine in there. So let's get a bass line in there. So I'm going to go to my bass line, and I'm going to swipe up, and this is where I can start creating my bass line. So I'm just creating a really simple bass line. I can play that. Need to make sure that I'm on pattern rather than song, otherwise it will play the song, and at the minute the bass line hasn't been put into the sequencer, which is why you didn't hear any bass coming through there. But now when I'm playing the pattern, you'll hear it coming through. Okay, so that might be one pattern that I want. If I want a different pattern, I might go with something a bit different. Okay. Now I need to go back to my sequencer, so I go to my machines, I go to the sequencer, and now I can play that. We'll add one more machine into there, so let's have a bit of modular. I'm going to select a patch to play, and I think we're going to go for big lead. So we'll load that up. Again, we've got all these dials, don't need to worry too much about those. And here we have our creation. So I'm going to go to the pattern. I've created one on A1, and I'm then going to put that into my sequencer. So the modular has loaded up. I'm going to select A1 and A1 again. So that's going to play the pattern if I want to play the song. So you can see that there is lots of potential here for the children to come up and create their own songs. You can play something in the classroom, you could create something in the classroom, you could have these kind of things up on the screen and get them to map them out before they start playing them as to which kind of instruments they would like to include for it.